welcome to ROI Live in 5. Your tips for a smarter, more technology savvy business and also a more profitable business. I am here today with Kayla Slice. Kayla is one of our head consultants. And what we are talking about today is co-op agent plans and recruiting plans. I know that is something that you've done with a lot of different people. So real estate focused topic today. Kayla, why is that something that's easy to do in your business? And tell us a little bit about that today.
Yes, so this is something of recruiting a co-op agent during your transaction. So when we talk about return on investment, I know that our time and energy are both limited assets, right? And so when we do that, this particular plan uses what you're already doing. You're already closing transactions. You're already communicating with a co-op agent. You are already building that relationship so that everybody gets to the closing table. So this takes that plan, adds a little bit of strategy to it so that you can not only build your business by creating a past client in this process, right? But also by recruiting that agent to your team.
Yeah, I love that. So let's dig in a little bit more to I love what you said there. It's like, hey, you're already doing this, so why not just take advantage of that? Tell me a little bit more about what that strategy looks like.
Yeah.
How do you make a plan? What are some of the things that would be in that?
Yeah, so we have a plan here, and I'll screen share in just a second and show you how short this is. But this plan is basically for you need to be at least a real estate agent with an admin. Depending on your CRM, you can automate almost all of these touches. And what it is complementing one, making sure it's a great agent that you would want on your team. Let me back up. Not every co-op we work with do we want to have on our team. We all know that.
Right.
But there's a lot of great ones out there, right? And in the transaction, you get the ability to know that really, really quickly. By the time you go under contract, you're clear if you want that person, if you want to work with that person long term or not. So after that, I just add some intentionality of complimenting them and telling them that they are wonderful to work with and you wish that you could work with someone like them every time. And that language is so important because in a transaction, I can tell you it's probably on one hand how many people go out of their way to say thank you for something great. And so you're standing out just by saying thank you. And we have a couple other steps. So I'm going to screen share really quickly. This is a quick overview of this particular plan. Obviously, these are the bare bones of the plan that just make it move forward, but it's emails, text, and then a couple of gifts. And one of the gifts that I like the most that I want to show you guys is what we send here um, on the day of closing, which is a grateful mug. Here is this particular one, and you could use a different one. We use send out cards here. We really appreciate the automation that it provides.
Mhm.
But this is saying that you're grateful for them and for the transaction. It's not branded, so they will use it. And that means that they have a memento that reminds them of you and how grateful you were for them on their desk all the time. So, a lot of things about recruiting are being ready when that person's ready, not
Right.
always like cranking them to be ready. But when you're setting yourself up this way, it's like you set yourself up in gratefulness for the relationship with that person, as well as being an excellent agent. So not only were you excellent in the transaction, which we expect you to be, but also you communicated gratefulness and gave gifts. So we have a couple of gifts sprinkled out through here. This just happens to be my favorite
Yeah.
um, because it has that longer shelf life.
Yeah, I love that. So, I mean, really, worst case scenario, you're professionally building a relationship with
Correct.
someone. It's a great campaign to get closer to that person over time, and they're going to remember you absolutely when they're drinking out
Right.
of that mug. So that makes a lot of sense.
Right.
When you think about like what an ROI might look like, obviously,
Yeah.
you're recruiting agents, and if they're bringing profit to the business, that's a
Correct.
no-brainer, right? What would it look like to get that person connected with you? What does a typical ROI path look like to recruit agents if you're using something like this?
So it would be adding agents to your team in a way that doesn't take as much energy from you. So from here, if they were, there is a direct ask in this plan of,
Okay.
are you interested in joining a team? And so if they are, you can have that conversation and you've already started that. This isn't a random person on Indeed. This is already pre-vetted in some way, right? Like this is a deal with a past client as opposed to a deal with an internet lead.
Yeah.
As far as a recruit with someone you've worked with. Obviously, you don't know them inside and out, but so reduce time in the vetting process. Not saying we would skip a step, but you already know some of it. Like you would be a reference for that person. And the second is bringing someone to your team who's already producing at a high level,
Yes.
producing well. This is not a new person. You've determined that they were great to work with.
Right.
You
Right.
wanted to move forward with them. So those two things I would say. And it's low effort,
Yes.
which is a
Yeah.
huge, huge benefit.
I love that too. I mean, like you brought up the example of the closing gift. You're already going to provide a closing gift for your buyer or your seller. So how hard is it really to get a $20 mug? There's already this built-in moment that you guys are sharing and you've been connecting. Again, to your point, you get to decide who you want to do this with and who
Right.
you don't. So there's a lot of freedom and flexibility there too. I love that. Any last thoughts on this, Kayla? If someone was like, you know what, I want to implement this today, any other last final thoughts on why that people should do this and bring it into their business?
The final thoughts would I mean, we have great language, great templates. We're ready to help you here at Ciprani Consulting. If someone doesn't answer in this, we also have drip campaigns that we can put people on. But with this one, it's being thoughtful and strategic. So slow down long enough to do that and invest in a CRM that automates so that these touches, I mean, these are texts coming from you, the lead agent, where you never actually sent the text. Like that is next level, right? Recruiting people we love.
Yeah. And we're going to provide some of those templates in the
Yes.
comments here. So thank you guys for listening in, Kayla. Awesome. Really interested. And I'm going to have my grateful mug later today. So, yeah. Awesome. Thank you.